Thank you everyone for coming along on this boiling Melbourne evening, but how appropriate is it if we're talking about ice cream? That's great. Thank you to Alex for coming along, Alex from Dulce in Greensborough. We might start just by getting Alex's background and how you came in to be in the business. And what your role in the business is as well.
It's a complete 360 to what I used to do. I was a qualified forensic scientist, so I did that for a little bit, and then COVID hit and it kind of messed up everyone's plans, not just myself. So I have another business as well with my father, so I was kind of just doing that, and then the opportunity came for the ice cream business, which was my father-in-law's dream. It was something we were looking at, but it wasn't front of mind at the time. And then we came across the shop and we kind of saw it and we said, that's it, that's the one. Had no business plan, no nothing. Rang the real estate agent, had an inspection the next day, and within 2 weeks we kind of had the shop. And so it was like, let's just do it. We've got the shop, let's just do it. So we put a plan in place. My father-in-law always had some sort of idea of what he wanted, but not the complete idea. So that's where myself and my fiance came in and completed his idea of what the shop he wanted. So that's how it kind of started. In terms of my role for the business, I pretty much run the front of the shop of the business. So I look after the girls that work for us. I do the social media, all the purchasing and everything in between that. I do it all while my father-in-law looks after the back, so the kitchen. So he does all the ice cream, all the products, all that kind of stuff. So we're separate, but we work together in a sense. And until the business grows a bit where we can get people to do certain stuff, I'll kind of fade into the background, into the kitchen, and start doing that sort of stuff where I want to be. Yeah.
Sounds like you've got a real plan happening.
Sort of.
You're very organised.
I'm a very organised person, but in terms of like planning where we want to be, it's very short term. It's very long term at the moment.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah.
Did your father-in-law, was he involved in anything before this?
So he's been working in the ice cream industry for 20 plus years.
Okay. Yeah.
He also works part-time in another ice cream shop in Albert Park.
Okay.
As well, but it's always been front of mind for him to open his own shop and have his family work for him.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. You've obviously, I've seen you before at a business awards breakfast, and I did notice your passion for your business and also your bearing, the way you hold yourself. You're very professional to me.
I try to be.
And so you've got that passion. Can we just immediately talk about your other passions in your life?
Yeah.
What other things do you love doing? Whether it's concerts or travel, I'm not sure.
There's a few.
Sure.
I'm a very big traveller. I love travelling. My fiance and I are lucky enough to go overseas every year. So there's always, travelling's always a big part of our lives. We love to experience different cultures and different food, and just see how other people live as well. I think it's very eye-opening, very interesting, and also how we can embrace what other cultures are doing and bring it back here into our lives as well. I'm a massive foodie. I love my food. Coming from a Greek and Italian background, food is very big for us. So we're always going out for dinners or trying new restaurants and whatnot. I'm also a big lover of sport. I used to play soccer. That's kind of faded into the background now since I'm very full-time at the shop. But I do go to my fiance's soccer games every weekend without fail.
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
I love it.
You weren't at the game where those people went on to the...
Unfortunately, I was.
Wow.
Yeah.
How amazing.
Yeah, it was an eye-opening experience and one that I would never like to experience again. But yeah, as I said, there's a number of factors that were involved in that, and I just hope I never see it again. Sport in general never sees it again. Yeah.
That's fair enough. Who do you barrack for?
Melbourne Victory. My fiance works for the club, so I've got to follow them.
Is your fiance involved in the business at all?
Yeah. So he pretty much helps me. So he will he works full time and then will be in the business when he can. So he travels a little bit as well. So when he can be there, he'll be there, and kind of just takes things off my plate.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Good. What's your favourite countries? What are the favourite
I
places you've been
love
to?
the UAE, so I love
Okay.
Dubai. One
Okay.
of my favourite places. I've
Yeah.
been there 3 or 4 times now.
Oh. It's not too hot?
It
Or
is
you-
really hot, but everywhere you go there's aircon.
Okay,
like
yeah.
you don't experience the heat until
Yeah.
you step outside.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's great. And every time you go there, because it's a country developing so much, there's always something new to do. There's always something like a new building or a new place to go see. So I love, Dubai is really great. I've fallen in love with Argentina. That's where my fiance is from. The culture, the food, just everything about it is incredible. It's just sad the economical situation they're in at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to go back there this year. Anywhere in Europe where there's good food.
Yeah.
Italy, Greece, wherever there's good food,
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
there. But
Yep.
my 2 favourites.
So Dubai, I think of soccer, and then Argentina, I think of soccer.
Yeah.
So was it Argentina who won the World Cup
Yes.
this year?
So
How wonderful.
have very happy in-laws at the moment.
Yeah.
They don't live that down.
Yeah, you weren't there, were you?
No, we weren't
Okay,
there,
yeah.
but we did wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning
Yeah.
and go to the city and watch it with all the Argentinians.
Oh,
So,
that's wonderful.
yeah, didn't
Yeah.
go home till about midday that day, but
Yeah. I've been in Europe for a couple of, like a World Cup and a European Cup.
done the Euros.
And the
yeah.
passion is
it's another
astonishing.
level. It's
Yeah.
they love it as much as they love their family. Like it's crazy, and especially Argentinians, because they don't have a lot going for them in their lives because of the economical situation. That's what they look forward to. So every 4 years, if you ask any Argentinian, they will save all their money for 4 years to try get to the World Cup.
Yep.
It's how it is over there. It's crazy. So
Yeah.
and it's nice to see that passion from people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love when people talk about passion. Have you ever been a mentor? Have you ever had a mentor? Is there someone in your life that's really influenced you, or you've looked up to them, or have you met anyone like that in your life yet?
It'd be my
Or-
dad. My dad
Okay.
is my biggest influence, my biggest mentor.
Yeah.
He worked
What's his name?
Churro,
Chiro.
Italian.
Okay. Right, okay.
He's one of 10 and he's the only one with the unusual name.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so my dad worked in a business for 37 years, so since he was 15, and he grew up in this business and worked his way up till he was pretty much second in charge. So he started from the bottom as an apprentice and worked his way up, and I've always admired that because it's something that I can always look forward to and something that I know I can achieve because he's done it as well. He started from the bottom. So I'm always going to Dad for advice or opinions, or if I've got an idea, I would use him as a bounce board because he's really good like that. So yeah, definitely my father.
Okay.
He's, everything goes through him.
Yeah. Can I just ask something really personal? We were
Yeah.
talking about something like this yesterday. I'm reading a book about love stories.
Okay.
And one of the chapters talks about hugging and the 3-second hug. Normally he timed hugs, and apparently it's an average of 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's not that common to say I love you to your parents or siblings, brother, partner even. Like, do you say I love you to your father? Does he say I love you?
No.
No.
I think my father...
It's pretty common.
He's a very tough person
Yeah,
with affection and all that.
Okay.
But it's more the things he says to me rather than I love you. So he calls me darling all the time. So my fiance knows he can't call me darling because that's my dad's thing. But it's just the way he talks to me is how he shows his love rather than affection or physically saying I love you.
Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah.
If you had children, would you say I love you? I love you.
100%.
You would. Yeah.
I'm a very affectionate person, and I think the way I talk, I'm very aware of how I speak to people as well.
Okay, yeah.
So I think that's something I will instill into my kids as well.
Yeah.
When I'm on the phone to my fiance, it's always ends in I love you. For me, in the back of my mind, and I saw it in a movie, if I end the conversation with my fiance as I love you, and something, God forbid, happens, they were the last words I said to him.
Yep.
So that's always how I've kind of thought about it.
Yep. I agree. I think be careful what you say.
Yeah,
Because it
definitely.
could be, you never know what's going to happen.
You never know, that's it,
No,
yeah.
no, absolutely. So also, what were you like in high school? I'd like to know what your teachers said about you, and what you thought about yourself. And also, if your friends, if they looked at you now and you thought, I knew you were going to go into business, is that could you see it then from when you were younger?
Definitely not. So my mind was very forensic science, criminology.
Okay.
Like I did everything I could to be in that position.
Yeah.
I always had this story of a teacher when I was picking my year 12 subjects because I knew I wanted to get into my forensic science course. It was all science. So I picked chemistry, bio, psych. It was all science. And I had a teacher come up to me and goes, maybe you want to reconsider because you're not smart enough to do that. That's what she told me.
Right.
And that's always been my motivation. So I went into year 12, I did what I wanted to do, got a very good ATAR, got into my course, did my course, got a master's degree in my course. And to this day, I was smart enough because I did that.
Yep.
So definitely had that as my motivation as well. So that's what clearly my teachers thought about me. As for my friends, I actually bumped into one of them the other day and we hadn't catched up in years, and we kind of spoke about what we were doing, and she goes, I never thought you'd do that. Like you were so career driven on being a forensic scientist that business was not something I'd see you doing. So definitely the complete 360.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And no qualities, like I think to come up against someone who's saying you can't do this, but you do it, is probably, because to me businesses, it's hard. Like it's hard to start your own business and see your future in that. So really perhaps qualities like determination and just thinking, if you tell me I can't do something, I know I can do something.
I think my dad instilled that into me because my dad's always been really tough on us, myself and my brother. And he's always had that thing, well, if you tell me I can't do it, I'm just going to go do it. So I think I've definitely learned that from my dad, and it's always been my motivation. Like a comment like that would never bring me down. Like it's something that motivates me rather than brings me down, which people want to do essentially. So it has the opposite effect on me.
Okay,
and I think it's just the way I've been brought up. Yeah,
fantastic. It's a really positive way of being.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely helps the mindset, that's for sure.
So are you an energetic person? Do you have big energy levels?
I do and I don't.
Yeah, okay.
I work better at nighttime.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm a very nighttime person. So I'm the type of person that if I have stuff to do, I would do it at nighttime, and I will stay up till 1, 2 a.m. in the morning to do it.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas I love a good sleep. So I definitely won't do important stuff in the morning. I definitely do it at nighttime.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know why that is, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because,
sometimes I heard once it's the time of day that you're born, that you're a night person, or I don't know why
at
it is.
nighttime, so that makes sense.
I'm not sure. Do you ever have to force yourself to relax? Like, is there anything that you do to relax? Some
like
people
to
meditate.
read. I like to read. I think that's a big one. Or just catch up on my TV shows, to be honest. But it's something I have to force myself to do sometimes because I don't listen to my own words and will just keep going. Or if I have something that I need to do and it's taking ages and I'm like, should add in an hour to relax, I will push myself to get it done instead of relaxing. So it's something I do need to work on. But definitely it's important. I do find it really important because then I am burnt out the next day if I don't.
What do you read?
I like to read a lot of business books or books about certain people and their lives. I'm not a very big fiction person. I just doesn't stick in there. I love to learn. I'm a very big learner. So reading or listening to a podcast and all that kind of stuff. Do you have any favourite business people or people that you've read about that you've loved their stories? I'm a big fan of Gary Vee. I know he can be a bit hectic at times, but I find his mindset very motivating. So the way he talks or the way he thinks about business. And I think that's a generational thing. I think with my generational coming up, we think about business a bit differently
Yeah.
To others. So I like his difference in the way he thinks about things. But yeah, otherwise, it's my dad. Like, I always look up to Dad.
Yeah. And when you say someone looks at business differently, or your generation does, what does that mean? Like, what are the differences?
Well, I think a good example would be how when businesses had to pivot in COVID, you saw the ones that were struggling, didn't want to change anything. I think a lot of people don't like change, whereas I think my generation are happy to change as long as it works for them and will work at it to make it work.
Yeah.
I find that it can be a bit of a generational thing because I experienced it with a few businesses that I spoke to about what they were doing during COVID and all that. And I think my generation embraces technology a lot more, and especially because we're coming up to a stage where the generation below myself has been brought up on technology, whereas it kind of came in our teenage years. So I think to gain like the younger generation, I think we need to adapt to technology a lot more.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Could you let us know some of the, say you went into this business, you were going to do something completely different and you went into this business. Can you talk about some of the things that you've learnt? Even just little things, or the hard things, or the sad things, or the happy
I've
things?
learned a lot. It takes a lot of time to run a business.
Okay, right. Yeah.
It's a lot harder than people think it is.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot of patience, especially where, like, because it's not just myself, it's my father-in-law and my fiance, so you've got to be very patient and you not to take opinions to heart. I think when someone has an opinion, they're not trying to bring you down, they're just trying to tell you their point of view. So I've learnt that kind of the hard way, because I sometimes let that bring me down, when it's just, no, that's how I see things, rather than bring it like a personal attack on myself.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good. And can you just talk a little bit about, because I work with Izzy a lot and I look at what she does. I actually don't look at a lot of online stuff, I don't, but because I read a lot and I sort of fill my mind with other things, and I think I have a capacity and I can't do everything. Yeah. But could you let us know what you think about online promotion, ways of promoting a business, even through pictures, media, or can you tell us what you use for your business?
Yes, so we try to use every social media platform.
What's your favourite at the moment, or what do you think is the most important at the moment?
So my favourite is Instagram.
Yep.
I think we can engage a lot more people on Instagram, and I think it's more personal as well. So we have a lot of conversations with customers on Instagram. Okay. So we find that very effective. I'm trying to learn TikTok.
Okay, yeah.
It's something I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And we want to get into that because, again, it's more of a younger generation. So we're trying to capture that audience as well. Yeah. Because with ice cream, it's a very wide audience, not a selective audience. So we're trying to get on the TikTok train, but it's very hard when you don't understand it. Okay, yeah. And then we use Facebook as well, and it's same concept as Instagram, but I feel like we get a lot more out of Instagram. But I think it's really important to have social media in a business. You get to showcase your business without someone being physically in your store. And there's a lot of people that like to visualize things. So to be able to see pictures or videos or how things are done, I think people appreciate that more. And we find a lot of our content that we show behind the scenes of the business gets a lot of engagement. So people don't realise how ice cream is made or appreciate how much work goes into the cake that they're buying or whatnot. So yeah, I do think it's extremely important to have social media and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you think, just a little personal, do you think photos are important or content is important, written content? Or, I mean, I know they both go together. Yeah. Do you do more photography?
We do more photography. Yeah. I think because our business is more of a visual business, because people like to see what they're eating rather than this is a chocolate cake, you have no idea what it looks like. It could be anything. Whereas here is a photo of our chocolate cake, they can see it and know what it's going to look like when they have it, when they buy it. So it's more photography for us.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of reaction to people who, when you show something, like you said, I love the idea of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So do people react a lot to seeing someone out there carrying a bowler, I don't know, or, you know, or just standing there in a white uniform? I find that quite comforting and, you know, reassuring, because I think it's great hygiene happening out there as well. So do people like that? Do they comment on that sort of stuff?
We definitely get a lot more comments on that sort of stuff. As I said, I think it's more the appreciation of the hard work that goes in.
Okay.
But also they can see that we make our food from a clean kitchen. They can see the processes. They can see that we use real ingredients. We don't use anything artificial in our ice cream, and all that sort of stuff. But it's just, it makes the brand more personal. There's a person behind.
Yep. I was going to say, do they like seeing the people?
Yeah.
And they probably think he does that and she does that.
So it makes it a lot more personal.
Yeah.
It's not just a machine doing the work. It's someone physically hands-on doing the work.
Yeah. So talking about all that behind the scenes stuff, can we just talk more specifically about what you sell?
Yeah.
Because we all love it. You know, we love ice cream. Tara, what's your favourite flavour of ice cream?
At Dulce specifically.
Right.
It's the banana.
Okay.
And the Dulce the dish.
Dolce, what's it called?
Dulce the dish.
Right, okay.
Dulce leche.
Leche.
We get all different kinds of people trying to pronounce that, so it's great. I love it.
Is leche milk?
Milk. So
Okay.
Dulce is sweet. There is that, and leche is milk.
Okay.
So it's sweet of milk.
So what does it taste like?
It's like
that
a
one?
butterscotch kind of caramel,
Right,
but it's
okay.
very rich and very sweet.
Okay, right.
So it's a very popular Argentinian flavour.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it's to die for.
What about an Italian flavour?
Our tiramisu is very popular.
Okay, yeah.
Our zabagnone, so it's very similar to like an Italian egg dessert. So same concept as eggnog, but with alcohol in it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any Greek ice creams?
We do. We have a baklava flavour. So it's a honey cinnamon base, and then it's got the actual baklava through it. So like the pastry, the walnuts.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Through it, yeah.
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 What's your favourite?
It'd be the dulce leche. And I'm a big licorice fan. I really enjoy our licorice.
Okay, good. Oh, good.
Yeah.
What's the best-selling flavour?
It'd be the dulce leche.
Okay, wow.
It's very
that's
popular.
fantastic.
Or the vegan chocolate. It goes very quickly, that flavour.
Yeah. Have you got a good nose? Do you smell things really well?
I hate when people smell their food. I hate it. I'm a visual person. I like to see it.
Yeah.
You can't really smell ice cream.
No, okay. So how do you come up with, like, I think you've got a lot of flavours, haven't you? How many would you have?
Over 120, I reckon we rotate between.
Okay, yeah. And so at any one time, how many flavours would you have?
So we scoop 26 in the scooping freezer.
Okay.
And then our takeaway tub freezer, I think, has 85 in there.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work.
Yeah. And do cones sell better than cups? Or?
It changes.
Okay,
so we find cones work better in summer and cups work better in winter. I think it's just a comfort thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because we find the same thing. We sell a lot of tubs, probably even more tubs in winter than we do in summer.
Because people go home and eat it.
People go home and eat it. It's just I think it's a comfort thing. Yeah.
Have you ever had a line going to your
after 7 o'clock on a summer?
Really?
You can't get into our shop.
So nearly now, like
around now.
Okay,
start to get pretty
How many
busy.
staff do you have? Like now, how many? Well, say it's the busiest night of the week.
So Friday, Saturday night, we have up to 3 staff on at a time.
Yep.
We might have some in the kitchen as well.
Okay. Yep.
But normally during the day we kind of have 1 to 2, and then at night time we have 2, and then the Friday, Saturday would be 2 to 3. Yeah.
Do you have a uniform?
We do. So it's just our Dulce uniform, and then just black pants or shorts.
Okay. Yeah. How do you recruit people? It's hard to get staff.
It's very hard to find good staff.
Yeah.
We're struggling at the moment.
Yeah.
So we just, Instagram, because
Yeah,
that's where
okay.
our community is.
Okay, yeah.
And we do get a lot of resumes. Whether they're good resumes or not is questionable.
Yeah.
But at least, because we have our community on Instagram,
Yep.
that's the best way for us to find kind of
Okay,
what
yeah.
we need to find.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the most unusual flavour, do you think?
We did last winter. We did a melon sorbet with prosciutto through it.
Oh, wow.
So it was like a crispy prosciutto.
Wow.
That was to die for. It was
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah,
Sold very quickly.
yeah.
Um,
Is there any that, what's the least popular, like as in you're left with that? Is there anything?
It's so hard. Not really,
Yeah,
because our flavours change so regularly. We go through a lot of flavours, but also you find some weeks some flavours will be really popular, and then other weeks other flavours will
Yeah.
be really popular. I think it just depends what people feel like, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that thing happen where someone eats your ice cream and writes about or posts something online, and then that flavour is just enormous?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So we bought out pandan, so it's a popular Malaysian flavour. It's
Okay,
like
yep.
a banana leaf, but it's a pandan leaf, and it's
Right.
very nutty flavour with hints of coconut through it.
Okay.
So yeah, as I said, it's very popular in Malaysia, and we had a lady come in who's a very regular customer, came in and tried it, and she said it's just like home.
Okay.
So loved it.
Yeah.
Put it in a Facebook group. I think it was like Malaysians of Melbourne or something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
And I can't even tell you how quick we went through some of those
Yeah.
tubs. I think one day we went through 15 litres of it.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And we were selling out of our takeaway tubs, and
Yeah.
ever since then it's one of those flavours we cannot keep in stock.
Yeah. Okay. Isn't that wonderful?
It's really crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
And whenever we bring out a new flavour, if it's something that someone hasn't seen for ages from their country, so like the zabagnone, we had so many Italians before Christmas buy it, because
Yep.
it just went.
Yeah,
Because
okay,
it's
beautiful.
something from home that they can't get here. Yeah.
Do you eat ice cream every day?
No.
No. No.
I mean,
no.
if I didn't have a wedding dress to fit into in June, I probably would. But I try not to. I try just to try the new flavours in the kitchen to
Yeah.
make sure they're okay to bring out.
Yep.
Other than that, I just, try
You're
to stick
good.
away from it.
That's good. That's good. So you're getting married in June.
Yes.
How wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Where will you honeymoon?
So we're doing New York, and we're going
Okay.
back to Argentina.
Oh,
So
nice.
there's a few of my fiance's family who can't come to the wedding, so we're going to do a small reception in Argentina as well.
Lovely.
And I'd like to travel more of Argentina, because
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You mentioned, just a final thing to talk about, you mentioned community and how they help you.
Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about that? What does community do for you, and what do you do for community?
Yeah.
What does community mean to you? And also, what does family mean to you?
Okay,
Yeah.
so for the community part of it,
Yeah.
I think we really saw that during COVID. One of our goals with the shop was to create a community environment where people can catch up with their friends or walk their dog and bump into neighbours. That was our number one goal for the shop, especially opening up just after that massive lockdown for COVID.
Yeah.
So that was our number one goal. And we knew we achieved it when everyone came out of lockdown and our tables were full. We had to extend our dining and ask our neighbours if we could go in front of their shop. So we knew we achieved that. So that was great. And then we really experienced it when we went into lockdown while the shop was open. And we saw our regulars almost every day. And even though sometimes they wouldn't buy anything, they'd come in and be like, hey, how are you guys going? Is there anything we could do for you?
Yeah.
And I think that meant more than them buying an ice cream from us. So we really did see it during COVID. And then there were some that would not buy ice cream, but buy tubs, so the order value would go up. So that was we really saw it then, and we couldn't be any more grateful for it. And I think that happened because we tried to create that community environment from the very start. So yeah, very grateful for our community in terms of what we do for the community. My brother-in-law has Down syndrome, so every March when we have Down syndrome day for the whole of March, we celebrate it and we raise money for Down syndrome Victoria, and there are other fundraisers we do as well. But we also support local schools with sponsorship, local clubs and all that as well. So we're very community driven, and it's something we want to focus on more this year as well, where we can give back to what people gave us when we were in lockdown. Yeah.
I think I was thinking about what did people do in lockdown, what did they want to buy, which is so funny, isn't it? And it sort of brought out what people really love as a core thing.
Yeah.
So I find it hard to buy books online because they take too long to arrive. So I just used what I had at home.
Yeah.
But I loved buying flowers because I felt like it was I don't know, it went from being a treat to being a necessity.
Yeah.
And often you were home a lot, and so you looked at them a lot. And it was just even a bit like being able to get your flowers delivered and someone would be at the door. Like you sometimes wouldn't see anyone.
And you got to interact with people.
So also the food thing became really important for people, and to be able to go and buy something and bring it home that someone had made I can see the value and what people loved about that. I think the lovely thing that you said about your community just coming in and just saying hello and just having a chat and how you're going. Yeah. That is really, really lovely to hear.
It was special because at the end of the day, a lot of these people were just going for their walks because they just needed to get out of their house. And because they haven't interacted with anyone, it's just something they'd come in and just because they were popping past just to say hi. And it was nice.
Yep.
And it was nice to see different faces every day or talk to people or be a part-time psychologist sometimes. It was nice. It was really nice. And that's what kind of got us through COVID because, you know, you just got to interact with people, which you never really got to do. Yeah.
Isn't it great though? I think we've learnt different things and different ways of speaking to people.
Definitely.
And a huge amount of respect, I think, has happened between people. We had a lot of customers, not so much at the time because people couldn't come in, but after lockdown's finished, a lot of our visitors here just would come up and say, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. And sometimes I think, but we weren't really here. Or they said, no, just the thought that I could come back here.
Yeah.
Or watching what you were doing online. Or being able to order something and call and collect it. Like speaking to someone on the phone. They just were so grateful.
Yeah.
Which was wonderful. It shows the value of what people value in their lives, I think. It's food, it's flowers, and it's books.
Yeah.
And travel.
And
Well,
travel,
that was gone.
That was gone. That killed me.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming
No, my
in. You're
pleasure.
absolutely delightful to talk
Thank
to.
you.
It's so great to see someone a bit younger, I don't know your age, but having that business head and that future thinking. I think it's really fantastic. So good luck with the business.
No,
good luck
thank
with your
you.
expansion. Oh, just one more thing I wanted to talk about was I did see online you've developed a dog ice cream.
Yes.
So can you talk about that?
Yeah.
Could you-
So this is a project that's been in the works for 2.5 years, because we have dogs and we have a pet shop next door. We see dogs all the time.
Okay.
And there's always customers that will buy ice cream for their dogs. And we always recommend the dairy-free ones because a lot of dogs can't have dairy, but they've always had high sugar in them, so not so great for the dog. So it's something we've always wanted to do. We worked with food scientists, a vet, a number of different people to develop the recipe for it. So it's dairy-free, gluten-free, and the only sugar it has is from the fruit that we use in it. And then the fruit that we do use in our ice cream is specific to being very nutritious for dogs.
Okay.
So like banana and date and apple and all of that. So it's a treat. It's not food. It is a treat. So we have the dog ice cream and then we have the little pup cakes as well to go with it. So very similar to what we do with our mini cakes. We've got the dog ones as well.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's something we're struggling to keep in stock because it goes very quickly.
Isn't that wonderful?
And you'd be surprised how many people spend so much money on their dogs. It's crazy.
It's true.
Yeah. So it's becoming one of our most popular products.
Yeah.
And as I said,
Do you put it on in a cone?
So it's in a cup. So we have similar to what our 2-scoop ice cream comes in. It's a cup with a lid. So it's not made to be used at one time. I mean, bigger dogs will have it at one time, but it's for multiple occasional uses.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the little pup cakes is just like a little cake on a
Okay,
cake board that
yeah.
you can unbox.
Is
for
the
them.
ice cream just one flavour?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. What's it called, the product?
It's called Dobby's. So it's
Dobby's.
named after our,
Aw, your
our
dog.
pointer, Dobby.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's named after him, and everyone, all the dogs love it. We love seeing people come in and have their ice cream and then have their dog next to them with their ice cream as well. It's really cute.
Yeah, that's
So,
wonderful.
Yeah.
Congratulations, that's
Thank
a great
you.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
good.
worked out well.
Yeah. Does Dobby like it?
Loves it.
Yeah.
Scoffs his.
Yeah.
Bailey, my other dog, loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, and it's got so many benefits for them as well.
Yeah,
So it's
okay.
good. Yeah.
That's wonderful. We'll
Yeah.
have to get a tub for Penny.
Penny.
She'd love it.
She's already had some chips today.
Oh yeah, chips,
Doritos,
Doritos, chicken. Thank you so much
No,
for
my
coming
pleasure.
in.
Thank you for having me.
And we can stay and have a little drink and a chat. I'd just like to also mention our next in conversation guest on the 8th of February. It will be Bill Henson, the Australian photographer. We'll be talking about his beautiful garden in Northcote. Thank you everyone for coming along, and have a lovely evening. Thank you. Well done. That was so lovely.